Hi guys, welcome you all. I'm extremely sorry because of the network connections that we have. I would like to start the conversation again and invite our guests again. Sorry for the interruptions with the network, but let me just start again and invite our guests once again without wasting our time, and let's just see that we're working properly and all of you can hear both the ends of our conversation. um, I'm just inviting our guest. I'm inviting Devika again. Yeah, she's just about to join us. Yes, so we'll not be wasting any more time and let's continue with our conversation. I hope I'm audible now. I'm just asking you all. Just let me know if I'm audible now. Great. Thanks, Jimmy, for letting me know that you all can hear me. I'm sorry, I will not be able to allow anyone else to join our conversation. It will just be Devika, as she's one of our special guests, and she will be answering all your questions regarding tone.
Hi, I'm
Hi.
back.
Yes. So sorry to know how and
I'm
where
sorry too. I don't know whether it was the internet
that,
issues here or across
that
there.
that's okay. I think I would just like to do your intro once again for our audience that Devika Khosla is one of the creative directors at the Works Interior, which is TWI. It's also an award-winning bespoke interior furniture design practice based out in Denmark. She has 25 years of experience in interior design. They are innovative, experimental. They work towards luxury as well as sustainable design. Believes in a very nice philosophy, which is design is not always about doing something different. It's about doing the mundane things differently. So I would not like to waste more time with our audience, and we'll be
Yeah.
talking about a very important subject, which is tone. It's a very key attribute in interior spaces. To start with, I would just like to know, like what do you think? How stone plays an important role in interior design?
So you've seen that stone is one of the most natural materials and has been in place in centuries.
Right.
We've seen the use of stone in monuments, ancient temples, carvings, and sculptures. It's because of its durability, its sturdiness, it makes it one of the most popular materials to be used in architecture and interior design. Whether it's homes, offices, commercial spaces, stones play a very vital role in design. In stones, we really have so much to choose from, starting from a marble, like close to Delhi, you can see so many sandstone structures. You have granites, you have semi precious stones such as onyx,
Mhm.
agates, etc. So, definitely, yes, stone is one of the most important materials that all us designers look for in designing homes, etc.
Right. We've seen, that you work with a lot of versatile kind of projects. So when you work
Right.
on different styles of projects with different categories and typologies, I'm sure there is
Hmm.
a tones that you pick and choose, right? So what is in your mind you pick these stones for your project, what is the first thing that you look at? Do you look at surfaces or do you look at the texture? I mean, as an expert, what would you like to say to our audience?
So I look at it, Raj and I look at it very differently. It's not the texture or the color that reaches out to us. So first we see what are we designing for. What is that space that we are designing? What is that? Is it a home? Is it a commercial space? Is it a very heavily used space, whether it's a kitchen, a bathroom, or is it just for a furniture piece? So that's what will define the kind of stone we start looking at. Because in stones also there are very durable practical stones, then there are stones which are very delicate. So depending on the usage, then we steer our uh, research towards that direction. And if it is used for, let's say, furniture pieces, then we look for the prettiness of the stone. Then you can look for various textures and colors. And I think foremost what's important is that, I'm sure all designers do that, they make their mood boards. Once that is set and the practical stone or a pretty stone is set, you start looking for these nuances in the stone. So that's how we will approach our designs. Yeah.
uh, what's that one stone that
Hmm.
you come out of your project, or that one,
Commonly used.
yeah, or one
Uh,
stone, like you like it?
The most commonly used stone across our work would be marble, white marble. It can be laid on a floor. It can, you can, even if the budgets are a little tight and you can't go for very expensive Italian white marbles, you can pick up a simpler marble and create your own patterns through AutoCAD or whatever your designs are. For example, a chevron, black and white, you could do a herringbone style. So then you can create a beautiful look with your own designs using a simpler stone.
Okay.
Again, depends on the budgets. There is
Right.
no end to picking up the best and also creating solutions with the most common materials like a white Indian marble also. Yeah.
We have also seen that stone vary if you want to put the stones in the interiors and if you want to put. So, how would you like to define the stones used just for interiors or stones used just for exteriors? Because I believe that exterior stones would have some sort of, rain resistance or
Of
exposure.
course. Yeah.
So, how do you like define these two categories?
I think interior stones I would define as a bit more towards the luxury segment, and were you able to hear me, Sana?
No, I think there was a glitch somewhere. You'll have to answer this question once again.
So I said stones that are used inside. I'm looking at furniture. Let's say I'm talking about interior, may the furniture tops. Then you can go in for like jeweled stones and expensive stones. So that would go into the luxury category. Stones that you use for facades outside your homes, or let's say cottage in a hill, you would go for a very practical, more sustainable, common look. So I would say exterior practical, interior luxury,
Yeah,
if I had to give it a name.
absolutely, fair enough. How do you think one stone could be used in different spaces? Also, like if you
Mhm.
have stone horizontally and vertically, I think there are different ways of doing that. So, what would you like to comment on it?
Let's say we have a whole, we're just using a marble or a granite, and yeah, the same stone can be used for a vertical surface, and the same stone can be used on a horizontal surface. If you're laying it on the floor, you can create an interesting pattern. You want to use it on a dining table counter, you can buy a stone which already has a pattern and accentuate that, and
Okay.
you can do wall cladding with that pattern. Or
Mhm.
again, you can create a mural with the same stone. You can create an interesting mural in a monotone way. So there are so many ways that you can use one stone, but creating different patterns with your own design, you can create that little difference and give a nice aesthetic appeal to it.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Because now we are talking about accentuating it and
Hmm.
and textures, patterns. So while designing a space, what defines your choice of stone? Whether it is a texture, whether it would be color finish, or what is it that you look first in a stone? There's so many ways for a stone.
Uh, I think I look for practicality for and foremost is practicality. First of all, just a stone can look gorgeous as is, but when you start laying it or using it, it can be difficult to cut. It could be very brittle, so you might not be able to do the edging properly. So you have to look at so many factors while picking up the stone. Just the look is not enough. You have to understand and go in depth and understand the quality of that stone that it can offer you.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this comes by experience. I mean, we have made mistakes, and that's how you learn because we picked up pieces that were looking gorgeous, but when we got it to the site and used it, sometimes the stone would just break in half or the edges would be brittle. But nowadays, there's so much of treatment that is happening even with the brittle stones that the usage has increased from
Okay.
previous years. So that is an added advantage. I mean, I think uh, we are really spoiled for choice. And for as a designer or an architect out there, sometimes that can also become a bane of your existence because there's so much to choose from.
Right. But
Yeah, so that can be a tough call for you because so much variety, and you have to know when to stop.
true.
Yeah.
That's true. But when you craft out a furniture like a
Hmm.
customized and you want to own in that, then do you look for the practicality or do you go with the look first?
So we do create. So yeah. So Raj always complains that you design something and you leave the manufacturing to me and get me into trouble. So that's a big thing between us. Uh, yeah. So at my end, I try and look at just the aesthetics, and then I palm off the headache to him. And poor guy has to do all the running around and find solutions.
The lady always looks at the aesthetics.
Yeah. So like I said, with over the years the experience, we now know which stones can sort of go well with the kind of designing that we've done,
Mhm.
and we have made peace with that. But there's still enough to choose from. For example, onyx. It's a
Uh-huh.
translucent stone, and you
Right.
can use it on bar facades or just the countertop and put a little LED strip in it and light it up just as a mood lighting or just to create that little drama effect. Uh, so things like this, you can create beautiful bases out of stone and have a glass top.
Right.
There's lots one can do. It's a crazy world out there.
I know. And I also I've seen that face tones is actually contributing a lot to visual impact.
Yeah,
A lot. Do
yeah.
you want to think about the visual appeal, visual impact in accessorizing the stone? I know we have talked about a little bit, but do you want to talk about it?
The visual impact of stones. That's what you're asking.
Yeah, especially in residence.
Oh yeah, of course. These days, powder loos have become like statement pieces in luxury homes, I would say, even in small apartments. And that's where you can really use beautiful pieces. Maybe just the counter is made of a semi-precious stone and the
Mhm.
rest is understated. Or you just have a big wall which is accentuated stone and the rest is understated. So you have to create that balance. And
Right,
you can create masterpieces in galleries, in entrance foyers, or powder loose. So it depends again on the space. I actually my tip would be to balance things out because there's too much available in not only stones, there are other materials also. So you have to look at your interior as a whole when you're designing. Either
correct.
the stone can be the main accented feature that you want people to see,
Yeah,
or it can be a subtle element and the rest of the pieces are doing the talking. So
right,
totally depends.
right. You think we can apply an entire stone into a wall? use wallpaper. So can that be done with the stone? Like just a random question in my
Yeah,
head.
yeah. Earlier, before these wallpapers became a rage, we would
Right.
be doing, slated walls and creating I'm sure A-class marble also, you go to them with any pattern and they can create something and give it to you like a mural. So, absolutely, stones can
But
be a great feature.
an entire wall can be done out of stone, right?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Great.
It can be used as a cladding. I mean, over the brick, you get the right thickness and apply that, and it can be a great feature.
So we've also seen the key to success. Moving forward, any tip or advice for our audience? How can we play with different and varied while designing contemporary spaces? Because we've seen that you've done a lot of contemporary spaces.
The tip would be try and before anything starts on the site, try and freeze everything on your plans, your mood boards. Go and look for pieces together with your designer, and I mean, the client and designer must work in tandem. You have to understand each other's design philosophy.
Mhm.
Um, and sometimes you've designed something and everything is done, but when you go and look for these, when you do your research on stones, like
Yeah,
I said, some pieces can be very impractical. They may look great on a 3D or on paper, but when you're standing there in the showroom and you think, oh, this, and you just tend to like something else, and things can change. But whatever said and done, try and freeze your designs before you start knocking everything in your site, because when you start work on the site and you start having two minds, that can be that can lead to delays and a lot of tension between clients and designers. Not a
agree.
very happy space to be in.
Agree. You also mentioned that stone is a very complementing material, and
Mhm.
spoke about furniture and how stone it so many accessories in an
Yeah.
interior. Where else do you think like stone, could be a complementary? Like I believe stone with metals work, stones with wood work. What apart from that could you recommend, or do you recommend stone plus metal to a lot of people, or stone plus wood, or should we use it or not?
Uh, so again, it depends on the design. Let's say we are doing a balcony space. I love doing a big, nice stone, thick piece on top of the railing, so that you can put your coffee mug or your tea, and that can go with the glass and steel outside. But in the indoor spaces, stone is a cold material, so is metal. So using both of them together in a home, I avoid. I would rather use it with wood, and you can use these things in a commercial space where the
Oh,
expanse allows it. But in a
oh,
home, this can become very cold and very, it after a few months, maybe you'll sort of tire of seeing that.
got
Yeah.
it. For an interior space, you think, like you mentioned in the beginning of the session, white
Mhm.
marble. Do they make the space bigger, or these days, like you prefer combining couple of, marbles together, or murals, or work between two to three slabs? What would you say?
Yeah, so for instance, in Delhi, it's terribly, it gets 40-45 degrees outside. So here
Mhm.
I would recommend going in for a whitish marble. It could
Okay,
be an off-white also, not a very dark marble, because then it adds to the coolness of the space.
right,
And depending on the size of the room or the hall that you're doing or the apartment, we don't like to give borders, because it then sort of narrows the space down and
got
narrows
it.
your vision and makes the space look smaller. So
Yeah,
the more it's left, you can do, random artwork within the marble. That's where you can create some SS dragonflies or whatever your design elements are in some random places to get that aesthetic element out of it. But
nice.
other than that, I think, yeah, in such climates, I would restrict it to a lighter tone.
Okay. I recently saw a couple of retail shops. They have marbles as wall paintings instead of artwork. And I
Yeah,
was like, I mean, people are coming up with such new ideas.
absolutely.
Uh, I mean, back in older days, we used to just see stone or marbles on the floor. But these days, people have just played creatively and so innovatively.
Yeah,
Think of a furniture, and you can just combine materials you people like you just the paper,
yeah,
and it very different visual thing for me to see. Like instead of a painting, they just clubbed two to three patterns of marble, different
mm,
patterns, combined it in the form of a painting. So very different view
yeah.
to
These days, people are also doing a lot of 3D effect with stone. So within
yes.
that also you can create a lovely wall art piece. So paintings are a little bit passe, you know. The wall art has become quite the in thing. And yeah, even I'm seeing a lot of stone sculptures which are going up on the wall, which
Absolutely.
become like the talking point of a dinner.
Have you used 3D stone in your
Yeah, we've created some bar facades like that. We've created very interesting geometrical patterns just on the bar facade, and the rest of the elements are very understated. So, you know, it just stands out and looks really cool.
so the application of a 3D is it different from normal one, or it's the
Slightly different, little bit more cumbersome because, you know, you have to plan out your pieces in advance, how they are going to be pasted on the. So it involves a little bit more technicality, and that's where Raj comes in.
great, great. Okay, so I think we can head now to questions from
Sure.
you've given us quite nice insights and small nice tips. I'm sure our audience must have enjoyed it. Utkarsh has said yellow light would be a good in onyx. Is that
I'm,
true?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
Yellow light will be good in onyx. Why?
Yes, absolutely. It depends. You know, you can use tiger onyx or a white or a yellow onyx, but a very, very subtle LED, very dim LED, because then if the strip is not done nicely, you'll
Hmm.
see that entire line and it just, so it has to be a very subtle yellow and
Okay.
just give it a very, normal hue, very
I think
subdued hue.
application matters a lot.
I can't hear you again. So sorry. I don't know what's
Saying
happening with the internet.
the application matters a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. The next question is from Chopdar Marble. They
Mhm.
ask, what is your review about Plethogenia quadseed?
I can see another question down there by them only
Yeah.
that what do you prefer, kitchen countertop granite? So I'll combine the two and I'll answer this. Uh, we are very practical in our approach, and even though I know that you have very good quartz available, which is more expensive than the normal quartz also. But I really prefer using a natural marble or a granite for kitchen tops because
Okay.
our Indian cooking is very, very cumbersome. We have our spices which sort of seep in, and granite and all are very easy to clean. Just one little wipe and you're done. The other materials you have to be very, very cautious using those. So yeah, I prefer natural granite and marble.
Great. Any other question? Ask whatever you want to ask. Meanwhile, Devika, I would like to share one design tip for everyone using stone that before we start
One design tip using stone.
using stone
Sorry,
in their
Sana, I
design.
lost you again. You'll have to repeat that for me.
One design tip for anyone using stone in their design.
You make sure that your floor plan and wastage has to be taken care of, and durability in terms of.
We had lost you. You have to,
Sorry.
yeah, you have to,
Oh,
yeah.
Okay, I was saying that before you start out or you head out to purchase your stones, depending, let's say if you're doing a flooring, then make sure that your floor plans are in place so that your sizes are taken care of. Sit with somebody who's a professional karigar or your craftsman and do the sizes with him also, not just your designer. Because the team which is hands on, the craftsmen, their knowledge is definitely much more than what a designer or a client can have. And of course, the person you're purchasing the stone from. Sit with them, quantify everything properly, take care of the breakages and the extra wastages, and then procure your stones. And look for, you can ask for samples. Let's say you're using it for a kitchen top.
Mhm.
Drop a bit of wine, drop a bit of haldi, leave it for a few hours and see, test everything out before you purchase
You
these
can do that,
items.
like test like that.
Yeah, I'm sure you do get these smaller pieces. I've done a lot of these things.
The small cubes that you.
Yeah, you can ask for small samples. Sometimes they just have pieces lying around with them, which they can
Okay.
share with the. You want me to repeat? I think I sort of went in a.
Okay.
Should I
One more.
repeat that?
No, no. I think we were all able to hear that. One more question. Which color
Okay,
is
okay.
now for flooring?
Which color is?
In trending now for flooring.
Sorry? In
Which
trends, gray. Gray is a big hit in every space. I'm seeing gray in flooring, gray in walls, gray on everything,
okay.
furnishings. Yeah.
Okay. There's one more question. The last one. Which client of yours has used tones the best? Would you want
Which?
to?
I'm so sorry. I'm like behaving as I'm half deaf. Sorry.
Which client of yours has used tones the best?
Which client? Oh wow. Um, I have many favorite clients, so it would be unfair to name just one. But I will say it in another way that these days clients do better surveys than me, and so I'm indebted to them because I learn a lot from them. And working tandemly, we figure out great solutions.
Great. Devika, it was really lovely having you
Thank
with us.
you.
Amazing.
Thank you, Sana. It was a pleasure being here. Thank you so much.
And for any more questions and queries, you can just comment on our live session. We'll post on our page, or they could just connect to you directly on the Works Interiors. So, yes, guys, thank you so much. Thanks, Devika, for tuning with us.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for joining in. Thank you.
Thank you,
Bye,
everyone.
Sana.
Bye.
Thank you.